Boston Climate Defense. Participants will be announcing a mock change of service to the Boston T system due to flooding from sea level rise in 2030. The group will then go on to other participatory actions at Faneuil Hall.
We'll be creating a new world, one that is cleaner, more democratic, and with economic equity. You know, when your kids and your grandkids ask you, what did you do in the face of this threat? You can say, I fought the fight, I helped save the planet. Get to it.
We had over 140 endorsers and partners in this particular rally. We want to especially thank the Massachusetts Nurses Association, 1199, Jobs with Justice, United Food and Commercial Workers, and the entire Wage Action Coalition. Let's give it up for all those folks and all the ones I forgot.
We're going to sing along with it and the moves, and they're really easy. So if you want to participate, there are many different actions that will happen at Faneuil Hall. If dancing's not your thing, we'll find another way for you to plug in. But if you want to participate, we're going to show the steps. So we're going to go right step together, clap, left step together, clap. Then you're going to make waves with your arms, go like this, down. We'll sing in a minute too. And then again, right step together, clap. Left step together, clap, waves again, and then up. And we're gonna sing it with a song, People Gonna Rise Like the Water, which my guess is some of you have heard before. So we go. People gonna rise like the water, we're gonna calm this crisis down. I hear the voice of my great granddaughter saying climate justice now. Again. People gonna rise like the water. We're gonna calm this crisis down. I hear the voice of my great granddaughter saying, get down, leave fossil fuels in the ground, get up, get down, leave fossil fuels in the ground, get up, get down, leave fossil fuels in the ground, get up, get down, leave fossil fuels in the ground, get up.
Today was good, yeah. It was good to see a lot of people out here today protesting and saying we need to keep all the fossil fuels in the ground.
I am Andrea, and today was a gathering of lots of different people and lots of different groups after 350 Mass put out a call across the region to gather people to on the final day of the closing of the Paris climate talks. Our sign says no pipelines without representation, because one of the total joke, especially in terms of West Roxbury, is that all our local state representative, our state senator, our city council, our mayor, the entire city council, our U.S. congressman, all these people have come out against the West Roxbury Lateral Pipeline where I live, which is part of Spectra Algonquin Incremental Market, and that everybody says, oh, there's nothing we can do because this is a federal project. So I thought that, our local, this is supposed to be a democracy where we have a say over what goes on in our community, and they're saying they basically sued the city of Boston for eminent domain, and they knew they could do it, and they do that wherever they go in the name of the energy infrastructure of the country. And the problem is that the Democratic Party and Hillary Clinton and President Obama, they're all behind this natural gas in the name of it being clean. But now we've found out that it's clean energy, but that's really just not true. But they're all completely invested and in bed with the fossil fuel companies because it makes so much money for the fossil fuels. So it's another example of they're willing to risk our lives and risk our future for their profits, and the Democratic Party is behind it. And the point is that you cannot. How can we be putting in pipelines that are threatening our lives when we have no representation to do anything about it? I live in West Roxbury, and we have been part of the FERC process about whether to approve or not approve the West Roxbury Lateral Pipeline. This process has proven to us that it's completely pointless that any of us should participate in it, because we show up at these hearings and there'd be like 200 people talking about how dangerous and what kind of concerns we have, and one group that would say from the unions or saying that at these hearings there would be so many people speaking out against the pipeline and their concerns, and yet none of that is reflected in any of the decisions.
This is an important issue.
I've heard
and I
that
hope you remember
there's
it.
never been a pipeline that FERC didn't love, and I actually spoke with one of the women at the Atlantic Bridge meeting at Weymouth, which is further behind our process, and she said, oh, that's not true, and she thought back of the hundreds of pipelines that they've approved, and there was one where there was some technical glitch and they didn't really even want the pipeline anyway, so she couldn't come up with any pipeline that they didn't approve. And the joke of it is that all these people who are the commissioners at FERC are all people who have worked for the fossil fuel industry, right? And of course they say, well, they have to be there because they have the expertise, but they completely have a vested interest in having these pipelines approved. And it's a complete, utter sham that plus it's a total waste of taxpayer money. They spend hours and hours having these hearings, the scoping hearing and the open house and the various things, and they get approved anyway, no matter what. So it's a waste of taxpayer money. And our Senate, so today we gathered at the Boston Commons. People came from all over the region to express our concern about the fact that the Paris climate talks just closed and really very little was accomplished. Hardly any decisions that are actually going to make a difference occurred. And at the same time that they're not doing anything, I live in West Roxbury, where 2 blocks from where they're putting in a natural gas pipeline, which is part of this huge, massive onslaught of pipelines from throughout New England, because they're trying to get the natural gas from the fracking fields in the Marcellus Utica Shale of Pennsylvania, Ohio, and West Virginia. And they say it's cheap, and their whole idea is to build these huge pipelines out to the Atlantic coast, where there's going to be liquefied natural gas export harbors, and they want to sell it to Europe and Asia, where they pay 3 times as much for the gas that they pay here. And there's even been letters. 14 U.S. senators wrote to Secretary of Energy Muniz protesting this rapid growth of the pipeline of the export harbors and the approval in Maine and Nova Scotia and New Brunswick, because they know that if they're selling this natural gas over to Europe, it's going to raise the price for business here locally. So even economically, it's a crazy thing. And it's been shown that methane is 87% or 83 to 85% worse than carbon, it turns out, partially because of the leaks. And in Boston alone, there's 2,000 leaks. And if they just would fix the leaks, that would be more than enough, and that we actually pay for and we're taxed for, that if they fix the leaks, we'd have enough gas for the gas that they're supposedly bringing into us. Maura Healey, our Attorney General, just did a study that, I don't know if you've seen that, to show that we don't need this new capacity pipeline. Anyway, but so we met today, and it was very great because people came from all over, and we're meeting each other and realizing that in all these small communities, especially frontline communities where they're building these pipelines, we are finding each other and working, learning new skills to work together to expose FERC, to show how ridiculous FERC is, and we're going to keep it in the ground, shut them down. They'll be singing in that land. They'll be singing in that land. They'll be singing in that land.
A little blue? One will do for you, good sir. Ho, 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 ho. Certainly you may, little boy. What of those would you like for Christmas? Ho, 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 ho. What button would you enjoy? Ho, 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 ho. One little button for one little boy. There we are. Ho, ho, ho.
Come and go with me to that land. Come and go with me to that land. Come and go with me to that land. Where I'm bound. One more time to the end. Come and go with me to that land. Where I'm bound. One more time. Come and go with me to that land. Where I'm bound. Let the system shine.